Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include: I had an interview with Maxine Parsons concerning her recent heart transplant. I also had an interview with the Lions and Lioness concerning Organ Donor Week. We have an update on the Community Channel ABE program. We have election campaigns and more, so please stay tuned.
Little things you do that you think are small and few are the things that mean the most to me. So just keep giving whatever you're giving, 'cause even when you're giving just a little,
if you're doing just a little, you're helping a lot.
it helps a lot.
From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
It helps a lot.
I had an interview with Maxine Parsons and her husband Gary concerning her recent heart transplant. First of all, Gary and Maxine, I'd like to welcome you home and thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak with you.
You're welcome.
How long were you suffering from a heart condition, Maxine?
I was born with it, Dave. My heart was on the wrong side, and I had a single European and single ventricle, and therefore the heart didn't function properly, and however I got the heart network and Christopher Hurt secret gut.
Okay, was the decision to go for a transplant yours, or was it a doctor's decision?
Well, initially it was doctor suggested that, and I'm a pediatrician at St. John's, actually. I still see him, and he suggested we go to London 2 years ago for assessment. And then, of course, we thought about it and talked about it. We agreed eventually that we would do it.
Okay, so was it a difficult decision for you to make?
It was difficult on one end, and on the other end, you get so sick that you just want to get better, and that was the easy decision, but of course it was tough, and it's just one that we had to make.
Okay, so how did your family feel about your decision?
Well, I'm sure both of them, my parents especially, and the rest of the family, they worried a lot, and I guess they probably wished that I didn't have to make the decision, and probably would have chose not to. But when we made the decision, they were there all there with their support, and they were right behind us 100%.
Okay, Gary, how did you feel about this decision?
Well, I told Maxine the decision was hers, which basically it was. And I said I'd support no matter which way she went.
Okay, how long were you waiting for your transplant?
Well, the first time we heard of the possibility of me having a transplant was 2 years. A little over 2 years. But the actual waiting time itself was only a month and a half from the time we went to London to wait. We were one of the very lucky ones, because we know people would wait forever almost.
How did you feel when they told you that they had a donor?
Gosh, I think I went in shock for a while. The phone call came about 7 o'clock in the evening, and the coordinator told us she had a possibility of a heart for me, and could we come there right away? And I said, okay. And I don't think it really set in. Even now it don't seem real to me, but I don't know. I can't describe the feeling once you felt it. It was just like a dream.
I guess things started to move pretty fast.
Oh yeah. Once it got to the hospital, I was just whipped away for all the tests and preparations.
Okay, Gary, how long was Maxine in surgery?
Well, the initial surgery was 6.5 hours. It was transplant, but then 2 days after she ran into some difficulty with blood coagulating in the oval cavity, and she had to go back in for a 2.5 hour surgery. And he took off the old droid blood. So it was the first one wasn't long. what you were expecting, but the second time around wasn't. You didn't really expect that one.
So, were you there waiting by yourself, or were there other family members there with you?
Well, not family members, but well, Maxine's sister came in. Una came in a bit later, but of course being so far away. But then there were so many people there in the same predicament that, there was only one big family anyway at the place where we were staying. It was pretty good.
A lot of support.
Oh yeah, yeah, all kinds of it.
Okay. Do you, at any time, in any way, regret your decision to have this transplant?
Absolutely not. No, I would do it again instantly. I wouldn't want to do it again, but no, don't regret it at all. I feel so much better, so different, and even the activity level now from, already it's only been 4 months, and it's fantastic. It feels great.
Okay, is there anything else that either of you would like to add?
Not concerned with the transplant itself, or not really anyway, but I do want to say that the support from the town has been fantastic. The organizations, businesses, and individuals around town has been fantastic. The support in so many ways, and there's just no thanking. Just one.
Okay, so I guess you're one person that would recommend that people do sign their organ donor card on their driver's license.
Yes, I would. We've seen so many people who didn't get a organ waiting, and organs weren't available. And you get to know people, and they just died because there was organs available. And like I said, I was lucky.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank both of you for speaking with us.
Thank you, David.
Since this week is Organ Donor Week, I spoke with Lions President Stan Kosser and Lioness President Sheila Ingram to find out more about the Lion movement's involvement with organ donors. First of all, I'd like to welcome you into our studio and thank you for taking the time to come in. Stan, can you tell us the Lions and Lioness involvement in organ donors?
Well, Dave, in 1989, the Lions and Lioness across Canada got involved in the organ donor program, and I think each year since that, we have had a public awareness program on BBS concerning that.
Okay, how can someone go about becoming an organ donor?
Well, you can become a possible donor by signing the back of your driver's license. If you haven't never looked at the back of your driver's license, it's there. And you can pick up a organ donor card at the hospital. They're at the hospital. You just check with Joyce Billard, she'll give you one. But it's very important to tell your next of kin so that your wishes are clear, because some family members on the death of a loved one, that they don't agree with organ donation. Doctors will not override even one person's opinion on organ donors. But if you're 18 years of age or older, you can sign your own card. But a younger child, you do have to have the endorsement of a parent or guardian.
Okay, have there been many organ donors or organ recipients in this area?
Yes, there's been a few. I guess the two most recent ones would be the two recipients of the heart transplant, which is Maxine Parsons and Michael Skinner. And besides that, there have been a number of people who have donated kidneys, and there have been recipients of those kidneys, as well as the bone marrow transplant.
Okay, what costs are involved in a transplant, such as a heart or a kidney or something?
Well, the cost is very high. Like for a heart, it's about $83,000, and for a kidney, about $50,000. But Transplant Canada takes care of the cost of the patient's transportation to and from the facility and their cost at the hospital. So it's taken care of by Transplant Canada. Okay,
there are a number of organs that can be donated. Can you tell us what some of these organs are?
Well, there's the organs that are transplantable are there's kidneys, liver, lungs, pancreas, heart, corneas, bone marrow, and believe it or not, skin.
Okay, what is the success rate for transplants?
Well, for kidneys is about 80%, and heart's 70%, 70 to 80% for livers, and a real good success rate for corneas is 90%. But only about 3% of all deaths is suitable for transplantation. We need a lot of people volunteer.
Okay, is there anything else that either of you would like to add on the topic of organ donors?
Well, I'd like to thank, on behalf of the Lions and Lioness, thank Maxine Parsons for her help with the program, and you, BBS, and all our organ donors and recipients. And I'd like to thank everyone who's taken the time to make a life commitment.
Okay, is there anything else that you'd like to add on that
Well,
topic?
there's one thing there on the first of it, I guess I should have put in, and that was the Transplant International. That is a non-profit organization that is set up by the Lions Foundation of Canada, and is dedicated to making people more aware of the urgent needs for organ donors. And it's probably something that ordinary fellow on the street, ordinary person on the street don't realize, but it is a very important thing.
Okay, the Lions and Lioness have also been involved in a recent project with a number of students at the schools with regard to diabetic bulbs, flowers you planted.
Our gift of flowers.
Gift of flowers, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, this, on behalf as an international thing too, is it's on juvenile diabetes, making people more aware of diabetes in children, which is very dangerous. Most kids that get diabetes at an early age becomes insulin dependent immediately, so they're insulin dependent the rest of their lives. And I must say, it went over well at schools. Kids were really interested into it. And on behalf of the Lioness Club, I'd like to thank Ruth Tucker and her grade 3-4 class, and Lioness Ann Collar, and BPS again, for helping us with our Gift of Flowers campaign.
Well, we sponsored the program of the grade 8 class in the high school, and I think the students really enjoyed doing it. So on behalf of the Lions Club, I would like to thank the grade 8 class, 2 classes that did it together, and I'd like to thank their teachers, Miss Abbott and Mr. Dunford, for their involvement, and hopefully we can do it again next year.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank you both for inviting us to come along and film this project being done, and we'd like to thank you for coming in and speaking with us. If you are over 40 years of age and have a weight problem, or if you have any combination of these symptoms, excessive urination, abnormal thirst, unusual hunger, rapid weight loss, irritability, nausea or vomiting, drowsiness, hitching, a family history of diabetes, blurred vision, excessive weight, tingling or numbness of the feet, skin infections that are slow healing, you should be tested by a qualified medical professional immediately to see if you have diabetes. Now we have some highlights from the school during their Gift of Flowers project.
Students, you're lucky enough this year to have been chosen to be the recipient of this Gift of Flowers, and it's due to the generosity of our Virgin Lions Club. So this morning we have the Lions president, Mr. Kosser, here, and he's going to talk to you for a couple of minutes and explain what this is all about, and then we're going to take some time to plant our flower bulbs. So, Mr. Kosser?
Thank you. Now, I don't know how much of this project that the teachers have explained to you, and maybe they haven't explained very much. Now, I'll explain what I can. Now, diabetes is a project of all Lions clubs. It's all over the world. Diabetes is a big thing with all Lions members, and it's one of the things that we promote to try to get out as much education on and let people know about it as much as we can. In previous years, we've done programs on Virgin Broadcasting whereby we've had people in talking about diabetes, the signs of it, and how to treat it, and I guess in general how to live with it. This year, I guess through the Lioness Club, they started it off. They're going to have the same program going at the elementary school. They had we had a pamphlet come from the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation of Canada. This is only one form of diabetes, among juvenile. We deal with diabetes among everybody, adults as well as juveniles. And for a fee, I think it was $125, we paid into the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation, and we decided to sponsor it in the high school since they were going to do the elementary school. And for that, you would get this gift of flowers. Your flowers, I think you was going to plant your flowers this morning. And I guess all through the program, the teachers will keep, I'll teach the fact about diabetes, and to get the flowers is only just something that you're growing more or less. As you're growing the flowers, you're supposed to be learning about juvenile diabetes. So I'd like to thank you as the students for taking on this project, and like I said, I'd like to thank the teachers for including it into their program.
This is what we're going to do, or this is what you will get in your groups. Now what we're going to do here, normally these flowers would be grown outdoors, and they're what's called spring flowering bulbs, because, okay, you get a little bulb, and all this is a little package. Inside are all the instructions for a new plant and a flower, and the nutrients, everything is in there in this neat little package. So we're going to plant these little packages, and hopefully we will get some flowers out of them. And last but not least, I have to see what I have to have here.
What's yours called?
Mine is the same as Quinn's.
Crocus Pickwick.
Crocus. And I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's mold on top.
A little bit of mold on top. That's nothing to worry about.
Purple.
Purple.
Kind of thing.
It's great to see groups in our community such as the Lions and Lioness getting involved with the youth. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review in just a moment.
Newfoundland gift from Ducks Unlimited Canada.
We've been running the Community Channel ABE program for about 3 weeks now. On Thursday night, we had our first guest speaker, Miss Suzanne Dahl, Marine Institute Liaison Officer with West Viking College. She spoke about courses offered to people working in the fishery. Here's a highlight from that interview.
Processing side for the plant workers, and my understanding, we have quite a few plant workers here in the Burgeo area.
Yes.
Fortunately, right now, because of the moratorium, there's nobody actually working, but before I actually get into the description of these programs, I want to stress the emphasis again with regards to the actual funding for these programs. Because of the moratorium and nobody's stating what is actually that they can do inside the fishery as in training for the plant workers.
Right.
There's no, like, they're not giving any kind of regulations with regards if the plant closes. There's no decisions being made as in when the funding is going to be free to be able to start the delivery on these programs. So although I'm going to go through as a general description of what can be accessed, what I would recommend, if there's people interested, yes, you can request it, but unfortunately, I don't know when they can be delivered. Okay? And again, that was the same as the harvesting, but even more so on the processing side of it. Okay, just to stress that, because I know there's a lot of concern across the island right now with a lot of plant workers that, like, you know, we've had people come into our area and tell us what programs we can do for training, but how come we can't get them? Well, they're not freeing the dollars for training for plants until they decide on what plants will remain open and which will remain closed.
Oh, I see. Well, are they going to make that decision? I understand on the debate the other night, Clyde Wells was saying, well, he's certainly not prepared to play God and decide which ones are going to stay open or closed. So
that's right.
So this is a big question mark then.
And it's very unfortunate because there's a lot of plant workers out there now that want to do training inside the fishery, okay? They don't want to have to leave. They're hoping that their plants will open again. But unfortunately, whoever's going to make the decision, DFO or...
Well, I think...
it's a real political game right now.
Last week on BBS, I think the news was kind of positive for Burgeo. It looks like, you know, we might be seeing the plant open, but I mean, I'm sure all the public out there listening to this interview right now, they're very much aware that there's no guarantees on anything in the fishery.
That's right.
In fact, the latest news, as I understand it, is John Crosby has got a big announcement coming up tomorrow on the rest of the Newfoundland fishery. So, and God only knows what that's going to entail and what he's going to come out with there. But anyway, back to those courses, I suppose if the people out here in Burgeo are willing to, you know, want to get involved in the courses that you're going to say right now, talk about now, I suppose the bottom line is that if there's a group there, if they identify themselves and they go looking for this, then I guess that would probably make the chances better than if you just sit around and, you know, wait.
What I say, regardless, to plant workers or fishermen, if you want a course, what I need from you is a list of the names of the people who want the course with their social insurance numbers, and I will submit it to the necessary people that once the funding is freed, we can start to try to access the programs right in the communities. So that's all I keep saying is if you're interested, put the training request in and we'll work with it from there.
Are you interested in completing ABE Levels 2 and 3 by studying in the comfort of your own home? West Viking College and BBS are currently doing a survey to determine how many students would be interested. Students will complete Levels 2 and 3 at home and call into the studio on Tuesday and Thursday nights during our Community Channel education program for assistance. Students must register with West Viking College and pay the normal registration fees. Level 2 costs $1 and Level 3 costs $31. Please note that textbook charges may also be applied. If you are interested in this program or need further information, please call Wanda at 886-2963. Students at A.J. Matthews School held their science fair on Friday. We went over to take a peek at some of the displays. There were more than 50 displays set up at this year's A.J. Matthews School Science Fair. The displays dealt with many different aspects of science. Two black ducks have taken up residence in the small pond near Spencer's store. We took our cameras up to see if we could spot them. As you can see, the ducks weren't too hard to spot. However, the ducks weren't moving around that much when we visited. However, residents in the area informed us that if we'd taken a few breadcrumbs along to throw out to them, that they would have swam out to eat them, or even come up and eat them out of your hand. Well, that's it for our regular weekly news. Please stay with us now for campaign speeches from the three candidates seeking the seat in the riding of Burgeo Beta Spare. Each candidate was given a maximum of 10 minutes of airtime. The views expressed by these candidates are not necessarily the views of this station or its employees. Stay tuned following the campaign speeches for local lyrics night on the bandwagon. All songs on this bandwagon were written by or for the performer. We hope you enjoy it. On behalf of BBS and all BBS volunteers, I'm Dave Cooper. Have a great week. See you next week. Good night.